scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Well, BT, it has happened. It's over. Daboll out as Giants head coach. This according to Adam Schefter. I believe it's in multiple spots, but it's just coming in now. During that commercial break, we were alerted to it. I'm just trying to follow through some of the lines here. Now, remember, he was supposed to speak at 1:25. We mentioned this earlier. Here's Schefter. You see him, there on the, like we said, with the post on social media. Brian Daboll out as the head coach of the New York Giants.
Yeah, and it's the humane thing to do at this point. Others have it. Ian Rappaport. I'm looking at Jordan Schultz. I'm seeing others. Obviously now, it is obviously clearly done. 20, 40, and 1 as the Giants head coach, and one playoff win, 3+ years, a multitude of ugly, really inescapable in terms of the perception around you or the narrative around you. Fourth quarter collapses, and I think that this is absolutely the right move because you're still not salvaging a season because there's nothing that you can salvage here in terms of wins and losses like a playoff berth, but you've got to at least have a direction and a healthy building. And the tone would have been every time Brian Daboll was at a microphone, it would have been about him and his job security and the quarterback and all these other things that take away from the overall growth of the other guys on the team. It gives you a jump start on the search for trying to finally end this merry-go-round of nothingness for the Giants. And from a human perspective, we all feel bad. I think Brian Daboll's a good dude who tried his best. I think he's an easy guy to have a beer with, but in terms of being the head coach of the Giants, it simply did not work.
I do feel bad, but this had to happen. It's not anybody's fault. We didn't get him fired. His record got him fired. Just wasn't good enough. End of story. Bottom line. Now, you spin it forward. Okay, do we know who's taking over yet? I'm trying to find this out here. Schefter, the Giants interim head coach, will be their 6th head coach since 2016. McAdoofus, Spagnuolo, Shermer, Joe Judge, Brian Daboll. So obviously going to be another guy. And then next year, I'm assuming it's going to be Kafka. I would like to have seen Bowen out with Daboll as well. And then eventually I want to see Joe Shane out. And that would at least show me that the Giants are headed in the right direction. But this had to happen. It had to happen now. You can't overcome another loss like that. Daboll knew it. He was on thin ice to begin with. They blow that fourth quarter lead yet again. It's the 4th time they've done that on the road with a 10-point lead. The 3rd time that they've done it in horrific fashion, whether it be Dallas, Denver, and now Chicago. It can't happen. They had to move on here. And now it begins, BT. Now there is no more Dart Daboll. That is officially over.
It is, and rightfully so, but I mean, really, what a disgrace that Bowen still has a job. The other thing, too, is, and I can't prove this, but I feel like maybe, and I wouldn't agree with this, but I'm thinking from the Giants' perspective, like if they had a road game coming up rather than hosting Green Bay coming up this weekend, maybe they kick it down the road one more week, but you cannot have that energy because think about if Brian Daboll's coaching at 1:00 against the Packers this Sunday, here come the planes, here's 30,000 Packer fans. Dart's, you would think that Dart's not going to play based on the concussion. So you just, it doesn't solve anything immediately. I think it prevents it from making it worse optically. That would have been such an ugly sound and an ugly sight at MetLife. So you had to do it, and now you get a jump start, and now you've got to find basically a miracle worker because the Giants is one big steep hill, bro. It's not going to be easy.
We all knew it yesterday watching that game, but it doesn't make it any easier thinking about here we are yet again 4 years later. I mean, the guy was he was a coach of the year in his first year. Coach of the year, first year. Took Daniel Jones to the postseason with a limited roster, and that's putting it mildly. Won a road playoff game and just could never get it turned around after that. Could never get it back on track. Bad year 2, worse year 3. This was supposed to be the definitive year, and here we are again through 10 games. Somehow, inexplicably, even with a young rookie quarterback that shows great promise, still 2-8. It had to be done, but it just sucks that we're here yet again.
It's brutal. Yeah, I feel terrible for Giant fans.
Okay, now that Daboll had to go today, and he did, and the Giants did the right thing, no question about it. If anything, they gave him more than enough time to get this thing turned around. More than enough time. They were extremely patient. They left this was it. You have more new? Go ahead, Hop. What'd you just say in my ear?
Yeah, Giants OC Mike Kafka will be the interim head coach, per source.
Okay, I mean, no surprise there. Breaking news, Brian Daboll out. Kafka going to take over here. So then it begs the question, okay, what are you going to do with the defense? Maybe that's less important. For me, this means nothing unless it means Joe Shane is showing the door as well.
He'll be next.
Oh,
He'll be next.
Say that
I believe
confidently.
that. I do. I believe that. I believe he'll be next. But until they do it, I mean, I don't really know.
I'm not saying I need to do it now. I said last week, why delay the inevitable? Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and move on now. Do I need that to happen? It's kind of irrelevant. He's done all he can do. They didn't let him make any moves at the deadline. So there's nothing he's going to do that's going to impact the team any way, shape, or form now or the future. I guess the longer it goes with him still employed, the more concern I have that they aren't going to clean house totally.
Yeah, I do hear you. Trust me, I do. But to me, it's more clerical. That's the way I describe it. Like, at this point, I'm not saying there's no roster moves that are going to have. You'll pick this guy up on waivers or promote that guy from the practice squad. But there's really nothing substantial that's going to happen from now until the end of the season because the trade deadline is over. Now, if you want to see, this is what's going to be interesting. The Jets made the mistake years ago where they let McCagnon draft, and then they fired him right after the draft here.
Yeah.
So
how dumb can you be?
Yeah, that's about as idiotic as it gets here. So, and I don't think that the Giants would take the same page from that idiocy. But what they've got to have consistency here because they are very deep into their scouting. Like, I know the Jets have already watched Mendoza play quarterback in person 4 games, and the Giants might not be scouting a quarterback, but they're certainly scouting a lot of players. So you still want some continuity in terms of the preparation for the draft and the offseason. Again, Daboll had to go during the season, in my opinion. Less concerned about Shane when he goes, as long as he does, which I think he will at the end of the... Now, if he doesn't, that's a different discussion, and I'll get on the Giants, but I don't need him gone today. I think you had to start with Daboll.
I also wonder how much of this decision was based off the fact that Dart got hurt. Again, for me, it would not have been the case because I know there's a lot of thought, well, he got Dart hurt. Blah, blah. To me, it's separate. It's everything else. It's his 4 years in its entirety, specifically the last 3, and just the inability to show that he knows how to win games.
Yeah.
You have leads. That's a good thing. Getting leads are good. It's a good thing. And the Giants haven't had enough of them. Then you got to hold on to the leads. You've got to be able to preserve at least some of them. And he just couldn't do it time and time again. And maybe his fate was sealed prior with the Denver game, but maybe it was sealed on that decision to kick a field goal and go up 2 scores as opposed to being aggressive. And it just shows you, when you're insecure or not firm in your standing, maybe you're going to make some decisions that you normally wouldn't make, trying to hang on and see. And obviously it was the wrong decision, kicking the field goal, taking the points, still blowing the game. It just too much here. So the Giants did the right thing moving on.